Esta conferencia comenzará a grabarse.
Buenos días. ¿Podéis oírme?
Sí, Antonio, buenos días.
Hola, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, Antonio.
Hola, buenos días. Morning, bonjour.
Good morning, buen día.
Bon dia.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Do you hear me?
Yes,
Right.
bienvenido, Luis. Luis. So while we wait for the rest of the attendance, okay, I would suggest you to go to Slido. Slido is the tool that we are using to share ideas and comments. And so you should go to the slide.do website and introduce the code ECA, European Cluster Alliance, or you could go directly to this link that you can see in the screen.
Okay. Yeah.
That way we could share everything and speak between us without stopping the dialogue in the main track. Okay. I would also recommend you to put your mic off if you are not speaking. Okay, that will help us not to make noise in the background.
Sure.
Thank you. Buenos días, Daniel.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
So for those of you that are new to these sessions, we are very strict in the use of the time because there are a lot of people coming to join this group, and we want to give everyone the opportunity to share the expertise. Okay, so we split the session in 3 different blocks. Okay, the first one is for setting the main concept, and in this case it will be led by Marek. Sir, I don't know the pronunciation, sorry. Okay, from the G region. He will have 20 minutes at maximum to speak, and after that we will go to 2 different blocks. The first one will be dedicated to identify needs, and the second one will be dedicated to the potential solutions for those needs or other. Okay, but the time will be, as I said before, very strict. We will give every speaker just 3 minutes. It's important to go to the point, and that way we could have as much intervention as possible. We will, this session should be 60 minutes long. If the conversation is really interesting, we could extend it for 30 minutes more maximum, okay? But mostly we should try to fit the session in those 60 minutes. I don't see Marek in the list of participants. Welcome, Ula. I see that you are there.
Good morning, Antonio.
Good morning. Guten Morgen. I don't see Marek. And probably we need Marek. So I don't know, Ula, if you have the possibility to reach for him and ask if he has some problem.
I'm trying to get to him. Yeah. Okay, I try. Huh?
Thank you. Perhaps he will connect through telephone, the telephone line that always work. We are recording this session as the other ones, and we will share the links in our Slack channels very soon, probably today. Not only for this session, but for the previous ones. So you will have the opportunity to review them if you want. Okay.
Marek is saying he's trying to connect, so he's doing it. Huh?
Okay, we will wait just for 1 minute. I will repeat. We want to give every one of you the opportunity to speak. Okay, so we will be very strict in the management of the time. Marek will have 20 minutes, and the rest of us will have at most 3 minutes per block. Okay, meaning that we will have at most 3 minutes for to speak about needs, and 3 minutes to speak about potential solution by person. As we are a lot of people, we will not have the opportunity to speak everyone. So please, if you have the possibility to use less than 3 minutes, it will be good for everyone. Okay. So direct to the point and optimizing the time. Also, for those of you that are new, this is organized by the European Cluster Alliance, but it's an open forum where we invite everyone that is volunteering to fight against the coronavirus. And the main idea is to link the society, the makers, and the volunteers, the social movement with the industrial ecosystem, as for example the clusters, and also with the institutions. Okay, we understand that the universities are represented also in our environments, and you can invite whoever you think will add to the reflection to these meetings that are being organized every morning at 8:30 during weekdays and at 9:30 during weekends. Okay. We are waiting for Marek. Also, for your information, the next session will be about the link between social economy and the industry environments. It will be tomorrow, but in any case, you have the opportunity also to join a special meeting on social economy that is organized by the ULA's team at 10:30 today. Okay, you have in the invitation, you have the info about this. Marek, I see that you are here. Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Can you see me?
Yeah. Now I will give you the capacity to present. Okay, you have 20 minutes. Please introduce yourself and go on.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to present what European Regional Development Fund and DG Regio we've been doing. I hope you heard about all the measures that are being taken by the European Commission. What I want to focus on is exactly on the regional funds. As of 13th of March, we have prepared a series of amendments for the European Regional Development Fund, which then was adopted on the 1st of April by the Council and the Parliament. And then again, a new package came on the 2nd of April. Of course, this all can be Googled, but let me focus on concrete stuff. So for the European Regional Development Fund, the first, which are already in place, and now the whole procedure of program amendments with managing authorities is going on, is the one which has two main changes. The first is related to support for working capital in SMEs, which was not eligible before. Now grants can be given to working capital in SMEs in a very broader sense. So if you need to increase the days of accounts receivables, or you need to increase the stock, this is now possible. Yeah? It wasn't possible before, so now the working capital is part of the investments. As I said, the whole package is 37 billion euro of unused and non-allocated funds, which were up to now. So it's within the funds that we have in the European Regional Development Fund, but which were not allocated. All of them are mainly considered to help the corona crisis. The main thing right now is to focus on anything which can support the medical equipment, the personal protection equipment, medicine, research in medicine, everything which is related to help in fighting coronavirus. The all expenditures should be eligible from the 1st of February, whatever they are. So right now, at the very moment, there are many member states and regions which are preparing the specific calls for the coronavirus when they need, so they have flexibility to use this investment. So this is one.
Marek,
yeah.
Marek, sorry, just one quick question. Are you sharing, because you are not sharing your screen, I don't know if you are using a PPT or not, but if so, we are not seeing it.
No, I'm not using PPT. No, I'm not.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
No, I'm just
sorry,
telling, I afterwards I can send you some materials that you can distribute, and people can read precisely what is this. I just want to highlight the elements, and then and then we can have discussion.
Please,
so,
thank you.
Let me just go through it. So if I have the first one, which is the working capital, and as said, it is understood very broadly as for helping, including the operational cost. So if you have the needs for support for salaries, it can be used as well for the purpose. Let me just so that, yeah, this is the first one. The second very important is that we had the money in the thematic objective for smart specialization strategies. This is now as well extended to cover investments in products and services necessary for fostering the crisis response capacities in health services. So it's not, it goes beyond smart specialization. If you have money available, the managing authorities money available in the operational programs for thematic objective 1, they can use it as well for any products and services to fight COVID. And these are the main changes in the first run, which we prepared on the 13th of March. And now on the 2nd of April, we have adopted as a Commission new frame, which is actually now bringing all available funds from all structural investment funds possible, so meaning Cohesion Fund, meaning European Social Fund, European Regional Development Fund, that are going to be co-financed 100%. So now the member state doesn't need to co-finance, it can be financed 100%, and there's a full flexibility of shifting money wherever they are available from for the COVID purpose. So if there are money available at regional, national level at still operational programs, they can be used between categories of intervention, between the regions, between priorities, and between funds as much as it is possible. And of course, this is, and I'm saying this clearly, this is not obligatory for member states. Member states have the discretionary of using this as a possibility, and of course it depends on the situation they are in. Some of the expenditures to help COVID, they are already in place, so all which are in line with operational programs can be used and are eligible from the 1st of January 2014, like for example for thematic objective 9, the health investments in infrastructure are already there. So the main change particularly is that the working capital can be used for public health crisis and the use for any investments in product and services, not only for research and innovation. So this is this, and then 100% of co-financing rate, and of course, which goes beyond the cohesion policy, the changes in state aid rules, particularly the one for eligibility of de minimis rule of 800,000 euro of support without any state aid notification needed. So this is at this very moment. So all of this can mobilize 60 billion euro. But of course, as said, this is this now goes through the calls. We have 276 regions. We have operational programs. Whenever managing authorities find it necessary, they are now launching the dedicated calls for this purpose. So what I would encourage everyone in the Cluster Alliance who is who thinks that they can use the money or can participate in the calls, they look very carefully at the managing authorities implementing bodies to see what kinds of calls they are now launching, and push for it, because now everything is actually eligible in order to fight coronavirus. Basically, I'm open for your questions.
Thank you very much. So we have, as we commented before, we have 3 blocks. We will jump later to the needs and solutions, but now we have 10 minutes for questions. So there is one in the Slido. It's from Jorge González. I don't know, Marek, could you read it?
Yeah, I can read it. Yeah.
So what would you answer to that?
Yes. Yes, this is absolutely yes. So regional development agencies managing ERDF to promote innovation can devote the money now to support innovative project against COVID, funded at 100%. Yes, the response is yes. Actually, I think if they are in a very big need, they need to run to have a call as soon as possible.
Thank you. More
Sorry,
questions?
can you see the two replies to this question?
There are no replies.
How to best implement the changes of the European Commission?
Yeah,
I have
the
two
question is that
questions.
what happens if the region doesn't know about this? How can we let them know and trigger that these calls happen?
I think the regions, it's rather impossible they don't know it, huh? Because they all are informed through channels from member states, from the national level, as well from the European Commission geographical desks in DG Regio, so they all know it. And then of course it's the people who are dealing with regional funds who know it. Maybe the people who are dealing with, I think with economic policy or with smart specialization, they should know it as well if communicated by the colleagues from regional funds. But I wouldn't imagine that they don't know it.
Okay.
More
Is it
questions?
only for SMEs or also for large companies? This is a very good question. This is for SMEs. This is for SMEs, not for large enterprises.
You can ask the question in the phone or in the voice you want, okay? By speaking. Please, brief questions.
Another question. So when this is we say it's a regional thing, that means that each region can apply the ERDF funds in the way that they deem better. It's going to be different implementations for every region.
It's both at national and regional level, depending on the country how they are organized. They usually have the operational programs at regional level, or they have only a national operational program, and then this goes through centrally managed operational program. So it's on the basis of operational program, because operational program is the legal basis for spending European Regional Development Fund and the ESF. But for example, in Spain, they are both national and regional level. Yeah. In the same in Portugal, the same in Italy, the same in Poland. In Finland and Sweden, this goes through national level operational program and the implementing bodies. So it depends on the member state how they are organized. It is related only to S. Sorry, I'm reading the question. Is it related only to ESIF or also RDP? What is RDP?
Sorry.
RDP is Rural Development Program, so it means a different regulation.
Aha, Rural Development Program. This refers to ESIF.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but for Rural Development Program, there are things as well. This is a separate topic. I don't want to get because I'm not from Agri. They have as well lots of. I can send you the information regarding this as well, which are many flexibilities being created there as well now.
Perfect. More questions?
Maybe one more. You mentioned some flexibility with the state aid rules. I'm not sure I got that one. Could you please repeat?
It was increased. The minimis rule was increased to 800,000 euro right now.
And is it time limited, or it's for the moment it's unlimited?
For the moment, it's unlimited.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, it very much depends how things will develop as you see, we had this the first set on the 13th of March. Now the 2nd of April, the further measures were taken, which actually broadens the possibility of using money. Before it was like just for the ones which were not committed, or the ones which the Commission was supposed to recover because they were not spent, 8 billion euro. With the not committed, it was 37 billion euro. Right now, actually, it's with the flexibility of reshuffling the funds, the total amount could be even 60 billion euro. So the things are moving and developing.
More questions?
I think the main from the operational point of view, and what you could do is to look. I will send as well to Antonio so that he can distribute the link where you can find the managing authority from your specific territory, and then you can go contact them directly if they have a specific call for COVID. And what they, because as you know, the Regional Development Fund is shared management, so at the operational level and eligibility criteria and calls are set up at the regional or / national level. And I know there are specific calls right now in Poland, in Czech Republic, just for COVID. I think the Spanish and Italians are doing the same.
Yeah, and we have also the possibility to share then in the funding in the ECCP forum, where we have a specific category for funding opportunities. So please, if any one of you knows about this kind of calls, please share them in the forum. Is what it's meant for. It's the idea is to give us visibility about these opportunities. Okay, thank you.
For this cluster platform, all managing authorities in Europe know about this. All member states have been informed as well through the special task force with member states on COVID. They were informed on Friday. So everyone in the national authorities and managing authorities knows about this platform. And once they can, I mean, the platform, you see the special part where demand is. So this is to facilitate the demand and supply, demand from the point of view of the public authorities, and supply from anyone who can deliver. So this is to enabling matchmaking between the ones who need, and as well, you know, it comes with the possibility to spend EU funding from European Regional Development Fund on top of all the direct management funds. I'm not going to talk about this, the others. Just European Regional Development Fund, 60 billion euro available for COVID. And I want to pass this message clearly because there's as much flexibility as possible in order to fight it.
Perfect. Ula, we are seeing you. Welcome.
I would be also happy.
It's not a device.
And I would be also happy if you signal any difficulties in the member states and regions that you see that the rules are made bureaucratic or difficulty to signal to us as well, so that we can react, maybe, so that there's no gold plating being created at this very moment. Huh?
More questions?
I mean, I must admit, I have never seen such flexibility from the Commission side. Now it's really everything possible to be financed as long as this serves the COVID purpose. Huh?
Congratulations, because that's what we need at this moment. Yes.
The thing is now that all this it takes time as well for member states and regions to process it, and then they've been doing it.
Yeah. Perfect. So if you don't mind, we could jump to the next section, and we will have the opportunity to find for sure new needs and new opportunities to use these funds. So it's now time for declaring, stating needs, and you have the opportunity to use your time. I will not put an order, okay? So, but please be brief. Okay, just 3 minutes at maximum per person. Okay. So who is the first? Needs. Nobody?
Okay, so just to open the floor, I'm trying to put this in as many contexts as possible. We need to send people back to work as soon as possible. Each day that we can save from not working is GDP that we are not cutting down. So we need to make it clear how we can use this funding mechanism to create a fast-track, streamlined process to enable people to go back to work as soon as possible. I know that this has to do with nation sovereignty, judiciary branch, police, administrative state at different levels, private identification rights, medical condition data and personal data, and it's an operation as complex as it gets, but it is as much necessary as it is complex. So this is one thing that we desperately need.
Thank you, Daniel. More needs. I need to, sorry. Go on, Veronica.
Good morning. Good morning, buongiorno. From Italy, more or less have the same needs like Daniel, because as a cluster, in this case, we are trying to help our companies to reopen their activities. And we are fighting, concretely fighting with our institutions to provide our companies, I mean, the normal people with masks. Since we are requested from these days to use them as a mandatory rule, and our region, for instance, will deliver to each house more or less from 2 to 3 masks per person. But it's enough if we go like now just to buy food for a couple of hours and then back home. But when you are expected to use masks along a full day, going on catching buses, working in plants, offices and the like, and at the same time we are still missing masks, not enough material for this. And at the same time, although the conformity guidelines drafted by the European Commission, and although a simplified procedure stated at national level, we are still fighting to understand what it is possible and what it is not, and if for compassionate use, as we are calling it, like it would be, it is possible to manufacture and to gift and to give as gift these masks to normal people. This is still.
We are losing you. Sorry, Veronica. We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry. From the beginning, or no? Hope not.
No. We have you here good enough. Just the last seconds.
Okay, no. I think I've concluded. The problem is still about. It is not clear if manufacturing masks on our own, according to the standards, it is possible to supply these masks not for commercial purpose, but just for helping people have enough masks to perform their future activities, if it is possible or not, if the conformity, let's say the conformity procedure has not been completed.
Okay, thank you.
There are some blocks.
It's time. 3 minutes. We need to to fit to the 3 minutes. I think it's very clear. Thank you very much, Veronica. Grazie mille. Who else? I know for sure that we need to work and be ready for the next phase. And to be ready for the next phase, we need to plan and to prepare our businesses now. So, for example, for massive production of masks, not only for the alarm, but when the people is returning to work, at least here in Spain. So we need to prepare our plans, our companies, for that next moment and for the possible rebound, for the recovery of the economy also. We need to start working on that now. More.
Antonio, just to clarify, when I said that we need to send people back to work, I was talking about identifying who is already over the virus, who has already antibodies, and if that is good enough to send them safely without posing a risk for themselves and posing a risk for others.
Okay, thank you. More needs. I know there are a lot of projects, prototypes now that have very good ideas, and they need some money to develop them and even to escalate them to possible industrial productions.
Good morning. I think that an important need could be have a parallel organism or whatever in order to give a solution or accelerate this homologation of these systems, but at the same time ensuring the traceability and the quality of these systems. I think that it's a big need.
Thank you, Dolores.
Can I have one need, Antonio?
Yeah, for sure, Jörg. Welcome, Jörg. Yes.
Thank you. I'm in contact with a number of these kind of initiatives on PPEs, and a very specific need is the need for filtration material, which is very difficult to obtain. And we might even have a solution in our hands, but then we need to buy a lot of that stock, which basically is a recurrent kind of buy from an Asian company of about 1 million euros each month. So it's very high capital, very high volumes, and I think this is also something that we need to share and to make sure that we do this in the right way.
Perfect. Thank you. More needs. I know that the companies need a clear regulation of new, for example, of new standard for masks for the population or for the professional, not only for the sanitary professionals. More needs, please. If not, we will jump to the solutions, proposed solutions. Before jumping, we will, Marek, perhaps you could answer the question that we are sharing from Philippe. No, sorry, Patrick, I think. Will it be considered in the coming course the support of cross-regional initiatives or projects Interreg type to take benefit of European complementarities and to promote emergency of solutions at European scale?
Yes. This is definitely as well. The cross-regional and macro-regional goes in line with support for COVID as well. This is without saying, and flexibility, whatever helps in COVID, this is now available in structural funds, including Interreg.
Okay, but how could be used that tool? I don't fully understand. Sorry.
No, because the Interreg is another story. There are calls being launched, and within the framework with the steering committee. So the call, if there are going to be specific calls on this, I'm not so sure at this very moment, unless the regions, the steering committees decide. So it's up to the steering committees to decide if they want to have separate specific calls for this.
Perhaps it would be a good idea to try to connect with them, with the steering
Antonio,
committee.
Antonio?
Yeah.
Okay, Interreg, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Antonio. Just Patrick speaking. Just to complement my question is, having in mind the component 5 frame that was in discussion to promote cross-regional joint projects, and would it be a way to implement this kind of action at the present time?
It's not envisaged. The thing is that the component 5 at this very moment still was meant to be launched in 2021-27 with discussions in the council. We've been finishing the pilot, and the money for kind of component 5 are not present. And then it was. It's a good point. We can raise it, but it's to legislators to give us a chance to use. I don't think we can at this moment to use it.
Thank you.
Okay. So, proposal for solutions. The time for that block. Would you propose some kind of a solution? How would you best use these new rules?
I would suggest that everyone should now attack the managing authorities. I mean, really attack, saying that now it's flexible. Now there are rules which are which enable us, for example, to produce masks, to use our production capacity to change our production capacity. And the money are for this as well. So if you need to reconfigure your production in order to have production of any personal protective equipment or any medical equipment or any research on related COVID related, then you can do it now, and simply it would be a shame that the regional authorities are not giving you the chance to use it. So I think you know, there is a push from our side, like the Commission, we are giving you abilities, but it must be now push from the potential beneficiaries or potential intermediaries to push that the regional authorities are moving.
Yeah, for that it will be wonderful to have the documentation that you will share with us, because we could use it as the background to push the regional or national authorities.
Yeah. I will send you, and then you will distribute the necessary information to
immediately. Perfect.
Antonio, just to complement, this is Karel here. I really want to emphasize this point, because it's not only the willingness of the management authorities to act, it's really the proactiveness of the sector to push for them, to ask for them. And some management authorities are really pioneers in developing quickly calls, but others have not really the habit to be super responsive. So maybe we can also use the forum of the cluster collaboration to make maybe one topic on best practices, how management authorities quickly introduce new calls and how these might be copied because when you go to an MA and you say, yeah, this is now possible, and they say, yeah, but we don't know how, are you sure? Then you can immediately refer to an existing practice, so they cannot deny, or they can immediately find some inspiration to just copy the call, etc. Also in terms of gold plating, to avoid that extra rules are imposed which are actually not necessary. This is a quite extraordinary moment, because now you have a community that can talk immediately to each other and immediately point at the difficulties at the national level. You can immediately say, this is not true, you don't need to impose this rule, because in Spain it's going like this and this, and you're working under the same regulation. So I think that is really the opportunity you have right now, which in normal times most of the call takers or the ones who respond to the call are not in direct contact with each other. Now it's for the same purpose, it's for the same reason, so you can really push to every MA to deliver on these kind of calls. So I really would like to push for that kind of actions, because otherwise it will happen in some regions but not everywhere.
I will give you an example from Poland right now. They are launching the call from 5th April to the end of April for any project. It was 50 million euro for any project in research and innovation related to COVID. Yeah, and it's done a fast track procedure. And the projects are going to be given response within 2 months. Huh? So
but I completely agree with the previous speaker, but I'm very glad that happens in Poland. But we need to have some kind of proofs and material and arguments to go to our regional agencies to say, this is possible, other people are doing, let's do something.
Let me collect all this. We are collecting now all these good practices from managing authorities. Let me come back to you on this, I hope next week.
Yeah, but we will share any information you send to us. We will share it immediately in the forum. The forum is the reference for this documentation. Please, you can send it to us, to the European Cluster Alliance, and we will share. Or better, even better, if you are directly putting it in the forum, because that way it will be far quicker. You can answer questions. Or you can dialogue about them. Okay, so there are different categories. There is one is called best practice sharing, and another one is funding opportunities. So please use it, okay, because as Karel said, it's very important at this moment to have the information, the right information, just to provide it to whoever needs to be convinced.
Antonio?
Yeah, Vasco.
Good morning, everybody. I just yesterday I think that someone presented a process to produce masks, and that he was willing to share the methodology. Do you remember?
Czech Republic, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you could ask him to send some additional information, because it seems that the process was fast and cheap.
The process was to create filters with high quality using betadine, but I am waiting. I will request him more information, because still I don't have the specifics of the proposal, but you are right. We will work on that. But Karel, and Marek, you are totally right. Thank you for giving that information. I want to just take 1 minute to recommend you to attend the social. Could you just take 1 minute to introduce the event that you are leading in just some minutes, Karel?
Yeah, of course. In about 1 hour, we will have a short session on the use of platforms to mobilize volunteers locally. Volunteers to help people in need, but also volunteers to, for example, produce masks in companies where there are not sufficient employees, if that would exist, but for any social purpose. So that is what we will have a look at.
Yeah, because one of the solutions for this situation is through the economic, social movements, and Karel is making, I think, a wonderful work organizing that at European level, and so our recommendation is to attend that meeting. And tomorrow at 8:30 we will speak about it also, how to link that movements with the clusters and the economy, the industry, and how to best move that machine all together. Okay, thank you, Karel. More solutions.
Antonio, I maybe have a small question as well. To what extent are cluster managers present here used to act as an intermediary in getting ERDF grants? That not the single company is applying for a grant, but that the cluster is doing it for them and they use the money or distribute the money. I don't know, also maybe for Marek, to what extent this is possible, and maybe some guidance is needed to help SMEs in a quicker access through their cluster and not themselves directly. But I don't know all the details, of course, so it's just an open question that might help you.
I will forward the question to Ula, because I don't know if there is any possibility to open new calls for cluster that could spread the opportunities.
No, I'm really talking about the ERDF focus.
Yeah,
so
ERDF.
Okay, yeah. ERDF.
So in ERDF, it all is set in the course of eligibility criteria and target groups, and usually the intermediaries or consortia of SMEs are there, or SMEs themselves. So it's at this very moment, I think they are very flexible on anyone who can provide help. So it's about I think the ones who bring together SMEs have bigger chance to get the financing, because it can be more easy managed by the managing authorities. Huh? My point is that they usually should be eligible if they are a legal entity, of course.
So, and I understand they have also better chances to do it through a cluster than when they do it on their single initiative.
Yeah, because usually they look at the impact and possibilities to spill over in the economy.
We are in an open dialogue at this moment with the DG Research and Innovation, just to join forces in the next hackathon that will be organized together. Okay, we are speaking about that, and the idea is just to create a strong link between ourselves. Okay, I know that there are cluster going for this kind of calls, and yes, we can do it. Not in a cascade funding scheme as the InnoSoup, just another scheme, but we need to reinforce this kind of links as fast as possible. More. We have 10 minutes left. More possibilities, more solutions.
I just want to come back to one question, which was about the possibilities of availability of this fund for large enterprises. I said it's not possible for large enterprises, but not for grants. I mean the solutions for working capital. Huh? But if they want to use the large enterprises are allowed to use it for if this is not grants, but this is repayable. So for financial instruments, working capital, use of ERDF for working capital is as well available for large enterprises, but for financial instruments. Huh? So just to precise what I said before.
Thank you.
Grants are for SMEs. Financial instruments are for everyone.
I not related exactly to the structural funds, but speaking about fundings, I think that it would be really important to provide clusters with some urgent scheme for funding collaborative projects. I think this is a very good solution. Okay, and if possible in international context also, or perhaps nationals, but we are not receiving as clusters until now that opportunity, and we are organizing a lot of activities and projects and prototypes and so on. That will be good to have.
Antonio, can you repeat? I couldn't hear.
The solution, one solution, could be to fund clusters activities directly to the clusters. Okay, not only for the enterprises, but the coordination, promotion, organization of prototypes or new production schemes, new value chains, and the quick movement of or linking between or realigning industrial processes and so on, because we are doing it, but without money, and there are some projects that needs money to be developed. Okay, so I think that it's important to state that we need money for reaching some levels of production or homologation and so on.
Yes, Antonio, I'm Ilaria. I think it's a very good idea what you are saying. I can add that it's really interesting also to reinforce the network between clusters, so between cluster organization in what you were saying. So for sure, investing in reinforcing the linking through the cluster members, but also at the level of the cluster organization, investing in the network.
Yeah, it's a good example. For example, Italy, no? Yeah, we could work on that. Could be important. Thank you. Grazie mille, Ilaria. More possible solutions.
I think this what you pointed out about the clusters as the role of clusters, particularly in post-COVID, in building and creating supply chains in strategic areas, particularly in Europe. I think this is something that, from my point of view, they are eligible in ERDF. Depends on the member states, but I think this role we need to work out right now how, because from our point of view up to now the narrative was that we help SMEs, and okay, it can be through cascade, through intermediate organizations like cluster RTOs and so on. But I think the clusters play an extremely important role in the supply chains, and we can see how disruptive the whole COVID is. The supply chains are not are interrupted. We need to emphasize as cluster organizations of the need to support clusters as with a unique value which the others cannot provide in such a quick time. And yeah, I think support from ERDF is eligible for this. The other thing is to operationalize it, how to approach managing authorities, that they realize the potential in clusters. But again, we can do it through good practices.
Yeah, and but it will be really important to have this in writing from the European Commission. If you really think so, and I am convinced. I think that we are demonstrating that we are far quicker than any other instrument. I think in creating cross relation between the sectors and be creative in the solutions. We need your support. I know that this is a need, okay, but we need your support. We need you telling this clearly, stating this from your side, and we can use this to go to our regional or national governments and say, okay, this is something that it's clear.
We see now is the process of we still have smart specialization strategies from ERDF. Will be this policy objective 1, which I think it will even accelerate the importance of local strength and local suppliers to be developed, and clusters which are as interconnectors between research and business and local authorities is right now when the regions are going through the process of reconstructing smart specialization strategies, which will be still the condition for policy objective 1, with definitely focus more on using the post-COVID for greener and more digitalized regions. Yeah? So this is really a chance where clusters can come with a proposal that there's a concrete tool, meaning clusters, which can serve in economic transition incentivized by the crisis. So everything which is digitalization and greening can be there, and I think now is the moment in regions as well and member states when they are starting to revise this smart specialization strategies, meaning actually this the economic transition strategies. And you know, it must be that the active involvement of the clusters in this discussion needs to be pushed. I mean, even being rude and unpleasant with regions, in a positive sense. That this is, listen, you see digitization. I see how in Greece now the e-government is accelerating suddenly. Everything solutions were there, but they were not uptaken. Now they are uptaking because there is a need to incentivize. People are incentivized. I think the big push in a positive, rude way to managing authorities in order to have all this written in smart specialization strategies and then translated into operational programs is the exercise for next year, I think.
Thank you.
Antonio, if I also can come in here. No, I think what you just said also on the role of clusters, and that you would need this kind of also a statement from the Commission, because that would help you towards your regional authorities. So I will have later on a discussion with part of the cluster team and our new Director General, because she wants to know what clusters are doing for the COVID crisis. And I will put this as a point for discussion.
Thank you very much. That's really important. Thank you, Ula.
Yeah, just for this, the clusters are explicitly, as you know, written in the regulation for ERDF as to be financed, networking clusters. But I think this it should trickle down to the regional level at the moment of programming operations for 2021 with this and I think the chance now is, listen, there is the kind of already prepared entities or organizations like clusters which can immediately be used in order to help in transition in post-COVID. Yeah? And even if this is written in the regulation, it doesn't mean that the regional authorities are aware of this. Huh? So this push is something we need to do. Huh?
Marek, if you have already from the previous regulation parts where the clusters are mentioned, maybe you could send this also to the group, because this would already be helpful, because as you said yourself, the regional authorities might not be aware of.
Yeah, I will do so. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. There is another point where we will be very critical, or can be very critical in helping, is about reskilling and upskilling. And as you are very well aware, we are facing a very hard times on terms of unemployment, and this is a excellent also opportunity to provide the unemployed people with the right tools to be reintroduced in the working life with their proper knowledge and capacities. Okay, so we could also work on that area. Thank you.
Just very last, if I may, Antonio, very small comment about what Ula just said. What we have sometimes experience with regional development agencies is that the technicians, maybe they don't take over the opportunity, but it's just because the politicians, they don't know about it. So if we have the clusters have information, so we can go to the top directly, and it goes top down, then it has more chances to be successful, because sometimes the technicians say, oh, and this is my personal opinion, of course, but this is going to be a heck of a work. I don't need that. I'm already overloaded. I will pass this opportunity. But if the politician knows about this, he will most likely force the team to implement it, because he understands the importance of it. So we need this kind of material to be shared like this. This is coming directly from the European Commission, and why you are not taking this opportunity. And with that, we make sure that then this is implemented.
Yeah, I think that everyone agrees on that. Perfect. It's time. If there are not more interventions, we need to close. Thank you very much, Marek. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Ula. Thank you, every one of you. Okay. We will share the information as soon as possible in the GCCP forum and platform. We will share also the videos of this session, because I think they could be helpful for other people. Okay. You are invited to join us in the next session. You know that tomorrow we will speak about social economy. The next day is about homologation and how to link the needs and the sources of resources. And I think that the next one is about well, I don't remember, but you will have the message in your email box very soon. See you tomorrow. I hope we keep in contact.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
Buon dia.
Goodbye, everybody.
Ciao.
Buen día. Goodbye.
Au revoir. Merci.